There will be no crazy out-of-pocket intro for today's video. I just want to talk about this team and I just want to talk about this game because 2024-2025 Barcelona under the Flickinator continues to leave me mesmerized every time I watch them play. This team is insane. I've been fortunate enough to be a Barca fan for a long time. I've seen the best days this club has had. I saw Pep coach this team to a treble. I saw Pep coach this team to a double in 2011. I watched Luis Enrique with MSN, the greatest attacking trio ever, win a treble in their first season in 2015. I saw Rijkaard. I saw Henry play for this team. I watched Eto'o play for this team. I watched Messi, Xavi, Iniesta. I've seen some of the greatest players and some of the greatest coaches of all time be a part of this club. But this might be the most fun I've ever had watching my team play. And that's saying a lot because Barca has given me so many great memories since I started supporting them when I was 7 years old. This team is insane. Ridiculous, man. They make everybody look like fucking like nobodies. They make every team, doesn't matter what team they are, Barca just dominate them completely. Everybody thought we were crazy for just writing off Dortmund in this tie. It's not disrespectful to Dortmund. It's just a compliment to Barca because again, they make every team look pedestrian. Munich is not ready for this team. This team will be going to Munich. I'm here. I'm saying it now. This team is going to Munich. Okay, this might come back to bite me in the ass. I don't care. I'm confident with this team. I am so confident with this team. I mean, watching this football in the UCL for Barca, we've been so fucking shit in this competition when it matters over the past 10 years. And we had, for most of that, we had the greatest player of all time. And we were so shit in this competition. And one man comes in and completely changes the identity and changes the culture of this team. This Barca team, get ready for a really weird thing I'm about to say. This Barca team is like a Bella Danger in their prime. They suck the life out of everybody, man. They suck the life out of everybody, and I cannot be more proud to support this team. Munich, I'm coming in you. Or I'm coming to you, whatever it is. I'm not coming into a city, obviously, that'd be kind of weird. But I'm coming to Munich. I'm not actually going to Munich, by the way. That's a joke. If people actually think I'm going to Munich, I'm not actually going to Munich. Anyway, enough about Munich, because we still have to play the second leg in a semifinal. Let's talk about this game now, okay? Because people are probably getting irritated with me already, and we're only, like 2 minutes into the video. Let's talk about this game. First half, it was good. Barca dominated this whole game, but the second half was better than the first half. But Barca in the first half got their goal. That's what they needed. It was a weird goal. Let's just call it a weird goal. The cross comes in from the free kick. Inigo heads it back to the box. Cubarsí gets his foot on that ball with a great finish, and that ball is going into the back of the net. And Rafinha selfishly decides to push it into the back of the net. I mean, that ball was going in, but Rafinha decides to give it a little push to just secure that it's going in. To me, that's very selfish, but I understand Rafinha is trying to farm these stats for the Ballon d'Or, and honestly, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it because the goal stood. If that goal would have been ruled off because of offside, and I thought it was going to be ruled off because of offside, I would have been pissed because that is very selfish from Rafinha, and to be honest, he should not have done that because he knew that ball was going in. There's no way he thought that ball was going out. I think he just wanted to get a goal, and you know what? He got a goal. I'm pissed that Cubarsí doesn't get a goal, but you know what? Rafinha gets a goal, and that's just like I said, we're just accumulating these stats for the Ballon d'Or push later on in the season. So you know what? Rafinha gets that goal, but that was weird. That was really uncharacteristic of Rafinha, in my opinion, because you don't usually see him do that. But he's gonna end up in one of those videos, like compilation videos, in a couple of years or a couple months. Top 10 most selfish moments in football. You're gonna see Rafinha in that video because that was very selfish from him. But again, he got the goal. And Barca in the first half, like I said, they were better, but you know, they were missing chances. It just wasn't as polished as we're used to seeing this Barca team play under Hansi Flick. We still had another gear to get to, and we got to that gear in the second half. You know, we got to that gear in the second half, and Barca in the second half completely took over that game. I don't know what Hansi Flick said to these players at halftime, but you know what, Hansi Flick, whatever he says, man, it always works. It always seems to work. I don't know what that guy is, what message he's vocalizing, but the players hear it, man, and they understand it, and they go out and execute it. And, you know, the second half, basically right from kickoff, Barca get their second goal. It was a beautiful play from Lamine Yamal, man. He crosses that ball into the box. Rafinha in the far post heads it back into the middle of the box, and Lewandowski's right there to tuck it away. Great goal from Lewa, man. The awareness to be in that position in the box and just to put that ball, just to push it into the back of the net, it was huge. But that play from Lamine Yamal, Lamine had a great first half, was creating, missed a chance. Also, he missed a big chance. But he was like, you could tell right from the start that Lamine Yamal was on. It wasn't like that game that he played on the weekend where you could tell he wasn't really on. You know, he was like against Betis, he wasn't really as sharp as you usually see him. Today he was sharp, and he gets up for these UCL nights, and we saw it today because in the first half, like I said, he was creating like crazy, and then the second half, he does that, and it was just like a 2-0, the perfect start that Barca needed into that second half. And then after that, man, Barca started playing this comfortable football. Fermin Lopez had a stretch there in the second half, like a 5-minute stretch where he hit the post, and he had a couple shots blocked, but Fermin was starting to cook. Fermin was starting to cook, and then the Barca counterattack came, and you know, this team on the counter, man, it's so deadly. It is so deadly how good this team is on the counterattack. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how crazy they transition from their own half into the opposition half. And they just, it was like 3 passes. It was 3 passes. Fermin gets the ball, and Lewandowski makes that great run. Makes a beautiful run into the box. And Fermin with a beautiful cutback, and Leo was right there to tuck it away. And that was a 3-0. But the transition, man, this team can kill you in so many ways. That's the beauty of this Barca team. Under Pep, it was mostly possession-based. You know, everybody saw it as this tiki-taka style of football, which obviously worked. But under Hansi Flick, they can play with the ball, they can play without the ball, they can kill you in transition, they can kill you if you're playing a low block. It doesn't matter what teams try to do to stop this Barca squad, they have an answer for it every single time. And like I said, that counterattack, man, this team has been so good on the counter this season, and I'm so happy to see Fermin contribute and get involved, man, because he was great today. He was one of Barca's best players in that first half, and he was so good in this game. Should have maybe had a goal, but he got an assist, which I'm super happy for him. And yeah, man, that finish from Leo was wonderful. And the third goal came, it was Lamine Yamal, a great pass from Rafinha, again, Barca in transition. Rafinha, I thought he played that pass a little bit too early. I think he could have kept carrying that ball, but he plays it, and it's the perfect weight on that ball, a beautiful pass. And Lamine Yamal tucks it away into the far post past the keeper. Lamine, Lewandowski, Rafinha, this front 3, this season, in the big games, they come to play. Against Madrid both times, they came to play. Against Bayern Munich, they came to play. Today, they came to play. Against Benfica, they came to play. This front 3, when it matters most, they show up. They show up every single time. And Rafinha gets a goal and an assist today. Lamine Yamal gets a goal. Lewandowski gets a brace. The best front 3 in Europe this season has been that one for Barcelona, and it's not even fucking close. It's not even close. And that basically sealed the tie. That sealed the tie. And then after that, Dortmund, towards the end of that game, were creating chances. They were trying to get a goal. But you know who came up big for Barca in that moment? Ronald Araujo, who came in as a sub, who lost his starting spot to Inigo Martinez this season, who was ridiculed by Barca fans, who has been ridiculed and criticized by Barca fans for the whole season, basically since he came back from injury. Today he comes into the game and he makes a huge block on a shot from a Dortmund player, and he also holds that high line perfectly. And that goal that Dortmund scored to make it an offside goal. It didn't end up counting because Araujo and Koundé hold that line, that high line so well. Araujo sees the player and he immediately backtracks and obviously plays. He makes him be offside, and you know the goal doesn't end up counting. Beautiful from Araujo. Beautiful from him. The only bad part about this game, in my opinion, is that Lamine Yamal had to come off because he kept asking for a sub, and he was really adamant about coming off because I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he has some discomfort. If I was Flick, I would rest him against Leganés, or maybe actually you play him against Leganés and you rest him against Dortmund, because this tie's done, man. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to disrespect Dortmund. This tie's done. At 3-0, I was scared because I've seen Barca go up 3-0 at home in a UCL tie and then lose the second leg 4-0. We all know what game I'm referencing there. But 4-0, it's done. No, they're not coming back. And this Dortmund team is honestly not that good. This Dortmund team is not that good. Now let's talk about players. Szczesny, man, great. I mean, he was just good. He didn't really have much to do, but when he had to do something, he did it. I think he was commanding his box squad, that he was playing out from the back extremely well. I think overall, man, this guy's still undefeated for Barcelona. He has not been, like, since he's worn that Barca kit as a starter, he's never suffered a loss. He does not know what losing feels like as a Barcelona player. That's ridiculous. Koundé, amazing. Had that one mishap in the first half where he kicked the ball up in the air and it was just a fucking, like, where he tried to play a long ball or something, and then it ended up almost being a goal because Kurasi was in the box, but then he ends up shooting it terribly, and Szczesny ends up making the save, like, on the ground. You know, you guys know the play that I'm talking about in that first half. That was basically his only mishap, but for the most part, he was amazing. Totally shut down Dortmund's left-hand side. The center backs, Kuwarsi should have had a goal, but you know what? Whatever. He gets an assist. Inigo was fantastic today, and Balde to me was really, really good going forward. I thought he contributed amazingly to the attack. I thought he was really good defensively as well. And Balde continues to be so good this season, man. He's honestly been, since 2025 started, since Barca have been, like, in this unbeaten run that Barca have had this calendar year, he's been one of Barca's best players. And by the way, Pau Kuwarsi, Sergio Guirassy coming into this game was one of the Champions League's top goal scorers, and he shut him down completely. And last year, Victor Osimhen, he shut him down completely again in the UCL. Osimhen and Guirassy, two physical strikers. This 18-year-old has completely shut down both of them in big UCL nights for Barcelona. It's ridiculous, man. Everybody talks about Lamine Yamal, and rightfully so. This guy is probably the second best youngster in world football. Kuwarsi, take a bow, son. What a game that he had. What a performance he had. Let's talk about the midfield. Pedri, fantastic, was amazing, but surprisingly, I think this is the first time I've ever said this this season, sorry. I don't think he was the best midfielder on the pitch, because the guy next to him, Frankie de Jong, was simply perfect today. He was perfect today. I remember when Barca played Dortmund back in December in that league phase game, Frankie de Jong was still coming back from injury, and he came in as a sub in that game, and he was awful in his cameo as a sub. He was awful in that game. And I sat here and I said, I don't think Frankie de Jong is that good anymore. Because I can be reactionary and I can be so fucking pessimistic sometimes because I love this team to a fault, okay? So sometimes I just overreact. But you guys know, if you've watched this channel for a long time, I've always loved Frankie de Jong as a player. I've always backed him. I've always wanted him to stay at Barca because I know the quality this guy possesses, okay? Whatever he earns off the pitch, that's none of my business, man. I care about the product that I see on the pitch. And what I see on the pitch is a guy who, when he's on his day, like he was today, he's simply unplayable. His work off the ball, his progression of the ball, everything. I mean, he was simply perfect today, man. He was so good. Provided so much control and so much calmness to that Barca midfield. Beautiful game from Frankie de Jong. Fermin Lopez, like I said, hit the post, could have had a goal, but got an assist. And to me today, this is the Fermin that we wanted to see coming into the season. We saw Fermin has not been the best this season. He hasn't been like he was last year. But games like this remind you how good he is. That when he actually, when he's on it, he's unplayable. And today, to me, he was fantastic and obviously got the assist and was crucial for that goal. Of course, getting a fucking assist, you're crucial for the goal. Duh, obviously, dumbass. And anyway, Lamine, great game from him. Got an assist and I got a goal. Sorry, and I just think he was amazing, man. Playmaking like crazy. He had that I forgot his name, but the guy from Algeria, the right back. No, the left back. Sorry for Dortmund. I forget his name. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it right now. But he had him on skates. He just couldn't do anything with Lamine Yamal because nobody can do anything with Lamine Yamal because the guy's fucking insane. And yeah, Lamine gets a goal today. Gets a goal against Benfica. Gets a goal today. This guy's just. I don't even know what to say. He's amazing. Rafinha on the left-hand side. I think Raf obviously got an assist and got a goal in these games in the UCL. I mean, he hasn't scored a league goal in a long time. Barca fans were pissed at him because he pushed Ter Stegen. What the fuck was that about anyway, man? I mean, some of these Barca fans, bro. Like, somebody sent me a screenshot of Rafinha's comment section after he did that to Ter Stegen. You need to apologize. We don't want to have Vinicius Jr. in our club. Are you guys real? Are you real people? Like, are you actually real human? I refuse to believe those are real human beings. Anyway, my point is Rafinha faced a lot of criticism this week because of what he did to Ter Stegen. And today he comes out and gets a goal and an assist and shuts a lot of people up because, that's what he does. He shuts people up. I love Rafinha and he was amazing today. And like I said, got a goal and an assist. And then Lewandowski, man, I don't think he had the best first half. I think he had a couple good plays with his hold-up. He made a run in that first half where Fermin could have played it to him and he would have been through on goal. He was making good runs, but again, I don't think he was that sharp in the first half. But in the second half, man, he scores a brace. And I just think he obviously changed the game for the Barca team with his goal early in the second half, and then obviously got the third goal as well. So props to Robert Lewandowski, man, who has 11 UCL goals right now. He's been obviously amazing for this team this season, and sometimes I like with Lewandowski's weird. Sometimes he comes out and he plays like shit, so I have to sit here and be like, I was right about Lewandowski, and then he comes out and does something like this, and I look like an idiot because I've criticized him. I think it's a balance of both. Sometimes he's shit, sometimes he's great, but for the most part, he's been great this season. I mean, he's scoring goals for fun, and he's really having a bounce back year after what he did last year under Xavi. But yeah, man, I don't even know what to say. I'm super happy with the performance today. Like I said, Araujo came onto the game and had made two huge plays. We saw Ansu Fati get into the game. I said after the game against Girona, I don't think we'll ever see Ansu Fati wear a Barca kit again. And, I was obviously wrong about that because he came in today for Lamine Yamal, who kept asking for a sub, like I said. And, he had a play, man. He had a chance to play Rafinha on or maybe take it on himself and maybe score a goal or get an assist. And he took, his touch was too long, so he couldn't do that. But once we would have erupted if Ansu Fati would have done something today. But unfortunately, he couldn't get it going. But hopefully this means that Flick is going to trust him more and play more in these games where Barca are just clearly ahead and, like, not clearly ahead, they're ahead and clearly comfortable in the game. But yeah, man, I don't know what I'm looking at my notes right now. What else can I say? Yeah, man, it's just like so dangerous in transition, so dangerous breaking down a low block, a mid block, whatever you want to play against the Barca team. Hansi Flick is gonna have an answer for it because Hansi Flick, man, what a man he is. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. I'm speechless. The fact that I haven't seen my team make a UCL semifinal since 2019 and we're basically already in the UCL semifinal. Again, I don't want to never discount Dortmund, blah, 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 blah. This Dortmund team is not coming back. This Dortmund team is not coming back. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Now, could Barca lose in the semifinal? Sure. Could they lose in the final? Sure. I honestly, I'm comfortable enough to say this now. I don't care what happens for the rest of the season, what trophies Barca win. What they've done up until this point has given me so much joy. I consider the season a success already. And again, people might think that's crazy because Barca, you're judged on trophies and what you win. I've never had more fun watching this team play. And I love these players so much. The joy that they've given me, it's just ridiculous. And I'm sure most Barca fans that are listening to this probably feel the same way that I do. If you've been watching Barca for a long time, there's been a lot of ups, but being a Barca fan for my whole life has been a blessing for the most part. I mean, 90% of the time it's been a blessing, but there's been a lot of downs, man. And to see the comeback from this team, It's crazy. But yeah, man, that's all I have to say. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Shout out to Frankie de Jong. Shout out to Ferran Torres as well. The Shark came on and made a couple huge defensive plays. I forgot to mention that. I had it in my notes. Thank God I saw that before I ended off the video because I should have said that. But yeah, man. Rafinha, we'll see you in the top 10 selfish moments in football. I'll see you guys on the next video. And yeah, man, I love every single one of you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.